Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from T-Mobile's newsroom. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So T-Mobile has to be careful. So as T-Mobile continues to compete aggressively, which we know they are and they grow the most, we understand that. But they have to be careful because Verizon is repositioning their value proposition and everything else that they're doing, and they have a new go-to market strategy and a new commercial that where they're using Pete Davidson, I believe is his name. AT&T is doing what they've been doing, which is quite successful. They continue to grow. They continue to have the lowest churn in the industry. So T-Mobile has to look at that as they compete against each other. T-Mobile is no longer the most competitive in that regard. We've all have seen that happen over time. For an example, Verizon today announced free text messaging on satellite. Today, until something changes, you have to pay T-Mobile $20 for texting. There is no data or no calling today on Starlink. It's just texting. Verizon just took a jab at T-Mobile and they included it on the plans for free. That's something that T-Mobile has to monitor. They have to look at that, right? So another thing that I will point out, and I've asked several people to do this, including myself, T-Mobile still does not have any retention offers. They don't offer anything. If you want to leave the carrier, you will get a little pushback. They will ask you some questions. What can we do? Right? But at the end of the day, they do not have a retention offer. If you have your mind made up that you want to leave, that you found a better deal, there is nothing that T-Mobile reps are going to be able to offer you. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing. 7 years, 6 years, 8 years, 9 years of tenure, they cannot give you anything. They have no directive on anything. They can't give you $20 off for a year. They have absolutely zero retention offers, right? So I want to point that out in this video because, again, like I said, T-Mobile has to be careful. AT&T and Verizon are getting more competitive and they're getting more aggressive. And could it possibly lead to a pricing war? Who knows? But T-Mobile has to monitor that situation and they can't sit still. They can't continue to allow Verizon and AT&T to go back and forth and then be the odd man out. Yes, they continue to grow at a clip that no one else can grow in regards to AT&T and Verizon, but that could eventually change with time. It's quite possible, right? Verizon is looking to, they're still refreshing the brand. They're repositioning their proposition. They're on it. They're taking advantage now of certain situations, which they've never done before. And I'm not saying that that's all of a sudden going to lead to all this huge success, but you can kind of put two and two together, right? So T-Mobile has to be on their toes, right? Like this internet launching spring saving offer, that's a big deal, right? But now the plans, the value, the marketing, the go-to market, I think now between the carriers, it's as close as it's ever been before. Although AT&T doesn't really have that type of value proposition because they don't do perks, but I think everything included, right? Pricing, coverage, you name it. I think it's close as it's ever been before. Even though T-Mobile is still smaller, it's still the closest it's ever been before. So T-Mobile has to monitor the situation. They can't lose track of what their goals are, what their mission statement is, right? They just because they claim internally that they went from challenger to champion doesn't mean they can let their foot off the gas. They have to continue to thrive and differentiate themselves, although that's harder today than it was prior. But Verizon is willing to now change and be flexible and make changes. You can see that now in their strategy. So it's not something we have to speculate on or talk about. It's actually happening. They're willing to do price locks for 3 years. they're willing to include texting on satellite for free. Those are competitive moves. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm just saying T-Mobile has to be careful, right? I'm not saying it's end all be all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they have to be careful and they have to monitor the situation. So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.